Hey everyone, welcome in. Welcome in. It is so nice to see you all on this Wednesday evening. I usually say good evening and good day, whatever time it is for you. I am thankful that you're here. I'm looking forward to spending some time with you. And Kevin, you are first today. Good job, friend. Good job. I commend you. You are such a wonderful person, and I appreciate you being here. Are you going to go to the gym, Kevin? Are you gearing up to get your workout on? So, I made some notes while I was listening to your live, Kevin, and there is something that I want to talk about tonight. It's going to be around the topic of support. It is a theme that just I can't seem to get enough of. Megan, hey Megan, nice to see you. Welcome in. Welcome in. Rach, hey everyone, nice to see you all. Some of my mods rolling through. Thank you so much for being here. It's nice to see you. Maybe third, says Rachel. Yeah, it's not a race. It's not a race, but I'm certainly happy that y'all are here. Your man is beat down after that Uber all day. Right on, Kevin. You probably got a good workout out there running around all day. Did I tell you? I should have told you in the update in your live stream, which if you're just joining, or if you're watching this on the live stream, I throw the after party. I have been typically the past like 6 or 7 weeks or so. I've been throwing an after party after Kevin over at Kickin' Addictions channel. If you've never been there, he has a fantastic recovery meeting every single Wednesday at 2 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And then I throw the after party. So welcome in if you're just joining us. Gosh, now what was I even going to tell you about? Oh, Kevin, what I was going to tell you is that I started a strength training class last week and I went again yesterday. I'm so sore from it, but it got my endorphins going, made me feel good. I'm psyched on it. So I appreciate all the motivation that I get from you. Every time I see you, I think, man, I gotta take good care of my body. We've only got one. So thank you for that motivation, amongst other things. Mo in the house. Hey, Morrison, welcome in. I'm so glad to see you. So glad to see you. Oh, thanks, Rachel. I appreciate that. I just threw it up real quick in a little bun thingamadoo. Awakened, Misha, or wait, I know how to say this. It's Emisia. Awakened by the Looking Glass. Let me know if I said your name right. I think I remember you saying the pronunciation was Emisia. Also, welcome. I don't think I said that, Emisia. Welcome in. It's nice to see you here. Can't chat. Wanted to say, hey, gonna listen. Right on. I'm so glad to have your company, Amicia. I hope I'm saying that right. I know you can only listen, but feel free to correct me if I'm not saying it right. You, like Amicia, Misha, 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 Misha. Okay, right on. I think I'm saying it right now, Misha. Thanks for that, Misha. I love saying people's names correctly, so I appreciate that. Balliot Brand in the house. Hey, Balliot, nice to see you. It seems to be a trend that people put on this stream as background noise, and I have just wondered to myself, should I start recording meditations or like affirmation things? I've done that before, actually. I have an affirmation on SoundCloud that I made way back when I was still living in my car. And I've been kind of itching, like I've been getting catch some inspiration to record stuff like that again. The one that I did was up in Big Sur a few years ago, and it was raining and I was in my car. And so the rain coming down on the metal of my car sounds absolutely beautiful. And then I was in Big Sur, so the waves are so powerful up there, and you can hear the sound of the waves crashing in. on the shore, and it's a beautiful recording. I have it's been hard for me to want to pull that file up and listen to it lately because I listened to it a lot in my early recovery and I could just hear the sort of desperation in my voice. That was the time that I was praying to get clean and sober, and I just could not stop using. And I wasn't safe. I was living in my car. I didn't want to do that anymore, but I didn't know how to get out of it, and I couldn't stop using. So I can hear that. Like when I pull up that file and listen to it today, not so much in the first half of it, but it's like a 25-minute file or 23-minute file or something. And towards the end, I can really hear the emotion that I felt. And it's hard to listen to it, to go back and to hear, brings me back. I mean, I've done a lot of healing, so it's not like it's triggering to me or anything, but it just brings me back to that place of desperation, hopelessness. And maybe I do need to listen to it because a lot of I battled with cravings the past few weeks, and thank God I am feeling so much better today than I have felt, and Monday too. If y'all saw the live on Monday, clearly I was in better shape than I was last week. Um, I think it could be a really good exercise now that I'm centered again and feeling stable to go back and listening to that recording just to see what it sounds like. But I'd be interested to hear y'all's take on it. Do you listen to affirmations or recordings of people's voices taking you through a relaxing process ever? Is that something that would interest you if I were to record something like that again? Also, if you do listen to stuff like that, I'm so curious to know who you listen to because I always want to expand my tool chest and catch inspiration. And I may fall asleep to your lovely voice, Tara. My sleep's all wonky. Been waking up at 4 to 5. Love you all. That you are an early bird, Megan. If you fall asleep to my lovely voice, which I appreciate that compliment, I would be honored. And I think it's like so good to know what people are listening to me for, because that will help me create better content for you. If you're just joining the party, welcome in. This is the after party for Kevin over at Kickin' Addictions live stream he puts on every Tuesday or Wednesday, excuse me, not Tuesday. We're not on Tuesday right now. We're on Wednesday at 2:00 p.m. He goes live, and then I follow up and I do an after party. It seems that some people have me on in the background, and we're just talking about guided meditations and like relaxing types of music or files that people listen to. I'm so interested to hear who you are, what you're listening to me for. I'm a peer support specialist by training, and I am here every Monday and Wednesday afternoon around 4:15 to provide peer support to you. If there's something you're going through, I specialize in recovery from mental health and substance use conditions. So if you're going through that, you're in the right place. If you're here for support for something outside of that niche, then you're absolutely welcome. You don't have to be in recovery from substances or mental health to be here. I'm so glad you're here. I would love to hear who you are and how you heard about this channel. And again, if you're going through something, anything at all, I had someone come in here, or we had someone come in here on Monday who who kicked cigarettes a year ago, and that was really cool to see him and to support him through that. So if you're looking for support, you're in the right place. If you just want to hang out, you're in the right place. Make them gains, girl. Dude, this strength training class is super fun. I've always wanted to do a strength training class, but I've been so immersed in yoga, and that's been the type of class that I've been taking for the past 15 years. I've been into yoga, but the strength training is actually really fun. I'm not used to lifting weights at all, but I definitely like my whole body is sore. It got my whole body. The teacher is really good, so I feel blessed to have the opportunity to participate in something like that. Kevin, I've gained a few pounds myself, so that makes me very happy. Yeah, Kevin, I actually lost 4 pounds in the past few months, and my nurse practitioner is worried about me. Actually, she really liked me to be gaining weight, so I ate some cookies right before this. I made some sourdough cookies. Surprise, surprise to those of you who know that I love sourdough everything. I make everything I can sourdough. And I just finished up a batch of sourdough pumpkin white chocolate cookies. I actually have some cookie dough left over that I need to bake up, and I'll probably do it after this live stream this evening because I just ate the rest of the cookies right before this. Sorry if y'all can hear the vacuum out in the hallway. It's only temporary, as is everything. Tala in the house. Hey, Tala. Nice to see you, man. Nice to see you. Rachel, turning 37 Tuesday. Trying so hard to get. Oh, I just lost my spot. Where is your. You know what? I just realized I'm on top chat and I need to switch it to live chat. Bear with me, y'all. I appreciate y'all bearing with me while I find my spot. There we go. Turning 37 on Tuesday, trying so hard to get my life together and to be healthy. I'm so glad that you're focusing on your health, Rachel. I think a lot of us here can relate to that. You know, there's a group of us not drinking alcohol over from Kevin's channel in 20, what year are we in? 2024. And I'm participating in that. Anybody who wants to participate in that is welcome to join. And getting life together, like I can certainly relate to that too. I've got a lot of things to look forward to in terms of things lining up in life, you know, with respect to work and fun and the place I live. Like everything is going to change this year, and I'm truly looking forward to it. If you've got big things coming up, I'm interested to hear what's going on for you too. So I love updates. Let me know what's going on with you, what you're looking forward to in 2024. If you're here for support and have something on your mind that you want to address, please feel free to share. You're in the right place, and I'm glad you're here. Balliet, listening to background and doing some chores. Much love, Tara. Right on, Balliet. I'm so glad you're here. And I love hearing, like I said, I love hearing how people are consuming the content. It's really going to help me create better things for you all. Right on. Misha just subbed to Kevin's channel. That's wonderful news. He's a fantastic person. And then Kevin says, great to see the fam up in here. Smash that like. Yeah, that helps me so much. When you smash that like, it gets the word out to people so I can support even more people. If you're just joining, welcome in. I'm so glad you're here. We provide peer support. That's what we're here to do, just to support each other. This is an inclusive environment, not tied to any particular cultural viewpoint or religious belief. And a lot of us are in recovery from mental health and or substance use challenges. I check both of those boxes. Some people here identify with substance use recovery, some with both mental health and substance use recovery. Whatever it is that you're here for, I'm so glad that you're here. And let's get to the comments here. I don't want to get too far behind. Yo, check, is this thing on? Sometimes, Misha, I want to call you Ned. I can't help it because of how I was saying that name for, the couple of streams, but I like Misha is a beautiful name. So I'll stick with Misha. Oh, and then you commented. That's so funny. She said, "I'll go, I'll go by Ned too now." So for those of you who don't know, awakened by the looking glass reflection, her name is actually Mishia, but I said her name for the first live streams that she was in here. I was calling her Awake Ned. I totally misread her name, and then somebody called me out on it, and it was super embarrassing, but I'm happy to know that I'm hopefully pronouncing Misha correctly now. So you'll see me call Awakened by the Looking Glass Reflection Ned from time to time. Everybody in the club getting tipsy. No tipsiness here. I'm sober as a I don't know. I don't have any good jokes. I usually can think of snappy jokes, but I don't can't think of anything. I'm clear headed. We'll say that. 96 or 95, baby. Kevin, you should totally do a guided meditation on here. That is such great feedback, Kevin. And I have been thinking about recording stuff like that, not necessarily for YouTube, but for SoundCloud. But I think it's a great idea. I'm not going to bust out with anything like that tonight because I want it to be intentional and well thought out for you. So I'm going to make a note of that though, so that I don't forget. What a beautiful way for me to like express myself and share something that I've really been thinking about doing it. So I appreciate everyone who's saying, I listen to your voice in the background or as I go to sleep or do a guided meditation. I love hearing requests from y'all. So thank you. Mo, I need more snare in my headphones. Mo, I would love to drop some bass or some sweet beats in your headphones. That would be cool. I will go night night with Rain on Metal. Yeah, I would, there's probably a way for me to separate the rain sound and the ocean waves from the sound of my voice and maybe do like a re-record of my voice or something like that. Because I don't know that I'll ever be able to recreate the nature sounds of that track. Okay, Balliet dropping the location and the date. 96, baby, October 24th. Okay, in Washington. Nisha, I've been working on a breathing video for my kiddo lately. It's almost finished. Lame, but cool. My fur boy's snoring all through it. Aw, that's cute, Nisha. I bet that's adorable. Nisha, I gotta check out your channel. I don't know why I haven't visited it yet. If Awakened by the Looking Glass. Is the name of your channel Awakened by the Looking Glass, Nisha? One, here comes the two, here comes the three, to the foe. Tala's feeling musical. Tala, are you gonna do like a jam session after this? Sometimes in Tala's Discord, we do he hosts jam sessions, and we can come in and drop tracks, and we have great fun. I've really enjoyed those jam sessions, the ones I've been able to make it to. If you do a jam session after this, Tala, I'm so in. Yep, Kevin, you are the man, he says to Tala. Balliet, do you have a donation link? Oh, Balliet, that's so thoughtful of you. You know what? I did not put it in the description um, of this thing. It's on the, if you go to my channel, like the main page, my channel, there's some donation links there. If you want to check those out, I absolutely would appreciate um, I would appreciate it. I don't even, I'm like speechless. I don't even actually know what to say to that. But yeah, the links are on my main page. Man, Mo and Tala are um, getting down. It's like they're busting rhymes and stuff like that. Rob just stopped in. Hey, Rob. Good look. Oh, good look. That's so sweet, Rob. I appreciate that. Rach thinks she does have Venmo and Cash App. Yep, you are correct, Rachel. I appreciate you sharing that. You know what? I'm gonna just bear with me really quick. I'm just gonna. I wonder, can I edit the? I wonder if that just. I don't know if I can edit the description. Oh, I can. I don't know if y'all can still see me there. I'm just gonna go and link it for you because I really appreciate you offering. Bear with me. Okay, I just dropped the links in the description of this video, so it should be there for you. And again, I even appreciate the question. Thank you. Oh, Megan is a month apart with Balliet. And Kingdom enjoyed Kevin's channel. I also, or Kevin's live stream. I also enjoyed Kevin's live stream. Kevin, we're so happy to see you smiling again, T. It was so sad to see you cry. You know what, Kevin? That was a really difficult, those, plural, those were really difficult live streams for me to record. It was difficult for me to show up, in all honesty. Like Monday, I wanted to go on and just be honest. Wednesday, I thought about not going on at all last week. But then Thursday is when I met with my nurse practitioner, and that has really made a huge difference in the way that I am experiencing the world right now. For those of you who don't know, I opted to start a new mental health medication this week. I was having some serious cravings, and it wasn't just the past couple weeks. I've been having serious cravings, and I haven't really shared this anywhere, but I'll tell on myself right now. I was having serious cravings for the past year, and not even cravings for my drug of choice, but wanting to feel the effects of things that I've never even tried before. And that's terrifying to me. You know, like that I, after almost 3 years of recovery, would still be in a place. I just got a major sponsor bomb from Balliet brand, just dropped a huge sponsor bomb. Thank you so much, Balliet. That is so thoughtful of you. I don't even know if you want me to share the amount. That's the first sponsorship I've ever gotten in my life. It $133.69. That is just, I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say to that other than thank you so much. I really appreciate you, and I don't know what else to say. That's the first sponsor bomb I've ever gotten. I don't have any cool sound effects like like Kevin has. You just paid for my ketamine treatment, essentially. Thank you so much. That's going to cover my ketamine for the next month. So much gratitude, friend. I really appreciate you. And so I was saying that I was experiencing some super intense cravings over the past year. It's been a year. Ever since I moved into out of the shelters and into this place, I have been craving intoxication. And so my mental health has improved. The ketamine absolutely has helped my mental health improve. But even so, the cravings have stuck around. And it is so relieving to even think that this new addition to my treatment plan could help ease my cravings. Now, do I want to be on mental health meds forever? Absolutely not. But I tried going without nothing or without anything for the first 18 months of my recovery and just about relapsed to harder things, or if I can rephrase that, just about took a step back from my recovery to for what, like to feel a false sense of joy, like intoxication that is temporary. I'm so glad I didn't go down that route. So I know not everybody is into pharmaceuticals, and I'm not even recommending it for anybody, but for me it's been an integral part of my treatment plan and my recovery. And I'm happy to report that the addition of Wellbutrin is what my nurse practitioner just started me on last week, has already, it's been 5 days, and I already feel um, a sense of the cravings being cut down. I was telling some friends this, I walked past this guy on the street, on our main sort of like downtown street yesterday, and he had some paraphernalia, we'll just say, and was smoking a joint, and it smelled so strong, and I saw all the toys that he had, and it was relieving to me that it didn't smell bad, it didn't smell good, it just was. And I was able to walk by the situation and just be like, "Oh, homeboy is getting high," but it didn't make me feel any kind of way. It didn't make me feel triggered, didn't make me feel uncomfortable. It just was, being in California, that's like par for the par for the course, just some guy on the street breaking up his stuff. So that feels good. That feels good just to know that I'm taking care of myself. I'm doing what I have to do to protect my recovery at this point in time, and I'm proud of myself. Mo listens to scripture. That would be great, Tara Balliot. I think you're talking about guided meditations. I think I might be pretty far behind in the comments at this point. But let me just go. I want to flash forward. And Balliot, I would be happy to record some guided meditations. Like I said, I've done it before. I'm Tara Smiling on SoundCloud. I should link that in the description too. Um, I'll make that available. I'll link that. I mean, you can look up on SoundCloud. I'm Tara Smiling. If you're interested in hearing what I've already recorded, it's just one track. It's like 23 minutes or something like that. And again, proceed with caution because I was in my addiction at the time that I recorded that. And like I said, I can really hear towards the end of that track the insecurity and the desperation in my voice because I was stuck in my addiction and in my lifestyle at that point, and I wanted out more than anything in the world. It wasn't long after I recorded that track. I think it was only, I really think it was within 2 weeks of recording that track, which is interesting to me based on the content of it. It's interesting to me that I would get placed in a program Yeah, in a safe house. I was placed in a safe house, and they required my sobriety, which is what I had been praying for. Just help me get clean. Interesting that 2 weeks after I recorded that, my whole life changed. Jerry just stopped in. Hey, Jerry, nice to see you, man. I jumped forward for a second because I wanted to greet everyone who and and address everyone who just joined us. So, and Loverton, Lori, you made it in here too. Hey, Lori, nice to see you, friend. Okay, let's. Yeah, Lori said, I know what you mean, Tara. I haven't used in over 10 years, but I still sometimes want to feel something other than what I'm feeling. Right. Uh, right. For me, it's just straight up wanting to feel intoxicated. Like it's not even that I want to change the way that I feel or numb out or anything like that. I just want to be intoxicated. Not today, not right now, but that's how I've been feeling a lot over the past year. And there is support for you. I mean, no matter what route you end up taking, I've tried meditation and prayer and all of that, and it led me, just talking about my experience personally. I'm not saying this is the route for you. I'm just sharing my lived experience of having tried all the natural routes and the medication free routes, and having what I believe to be my higher power, which I choose to call God, lead me to the nurse practitioner that I have now and the therapist that I have now. And so I'm so thankful to report that today I feel stable and normal. I don't feel like my I just feel normal, which is what I was trying to achieve in my addiction. I just wanted to feel normal, but then I would overuse and become non-functional. And I mean, clearly I'm functional at this point in time. My place is pretty tidy. Um, I've eaten some good food today. Like I'm able to take care of myself and function, and that is priceless to me. Megan, proud of you. This chapter of your life looks good on you. I think that is a comment to me. I might have missed something because I'm jumping around in the comments, but Megan, that's so sweet of you to say. And I really, it means a lot when friends and people that you know see a positive change or can identify positive attributes. That means a lot. So Megan, you are so sweet. I am so happy to know you. Jerry says, I think it's normal to feel cravings on a regular basis. Just don't entertain yourself with the thought and it will pass. It's hard. It is hard. It is hard. I did that for a year. I felt embarrassed to tell my nurse practitioner that I was having cravings for a whole year. I mean, I've been having cravings longer than I've been working with her, but it's nice to catch some relief from that. Mo said exactly, Jerry, cravings happen, but don't indulge in those thoughts. These cravings will pass. Yep, everything passes. Everything is temporary. Thank God. Marky Rizzo, I got a 92.5 on my trade knowledge. I want to get toe up from the flow up. Marky Rizzo is in celebration mode right now. Marky Rizzo, what do you think about celebrating with some hot cocoa? Maybe put a few marshmallows on top. I'm so proud of you, Marky. I really am. Marky, if y'all don't know, Marky Rizzo has been studying for two tests for months now. He just passed the second of two tests yesterday, right? Tuesday, I believe is correct. And he passed with flying colors, got a 92.5% on his trade knowledge test. Mazel tov. That's not. Congratulations, Marky. I'm throwing confetti up to you. Apple just did this thing where if you do this with your fingers, like balloons fall, but I don't think that works on YouTube. So I try, but I'm throwing up figurative confetti and releasing doves and balloons for you, Marky. I'm really, really happy for you. Also, Marky, I want to know, like, what's next? Now what? You've been working towards passing these tests for quite some time now. So what's the next step? Are you going into business for yourself? What, like, what's going on? Mishya says, I always try to stay mindful of my addictions, whether recovery mode or not. My longest sober run was 14 years. Most of us thought I was in the clear back then. Wrong. I now know to never be complacent. Wow, Mishya. You're not the only person that I have heard this story from recently. Just in the past week, I have met one other person that I am aware of who had, I think, 13 years of recovery under their belt and chose to take a step away from recovery. So I appreciate you sharing that, Mishya, and I'm so proud of you for coming back to the recovery club. Oh, Megan, that was for you. Thanks, Meg. Yeah, great job, Marky, says Mo. Everyone's celebrating Marky's achievement. Scott in the house. Hey, Scotland. Nice to see you, friend. Says, Hola, can I be honest? 100%, Scott. And now you have me on the edge of my seat with what you're wanting to be honest about. Please do share if you feel comfortable. Everybody's celebrating Marky's accomplishment. We're also proud of you, Marky. I know, I'm a genius, he says. And Scott says, good job, Marky. I'm glad your hard work was rewarded. Kimmy's Playhouse in the house. Hey, Kimmy, nice to see you. I'm so glad you're here, friend. And I hope that you are feeling well this evening. I hope you're feeling well. Marky says, thank you, Scott. My brain melted. Well, hopefully you've got some tuna to go with that melt because you deserve a big fat sandwich right now. I'm so interested to see what Scott has to say if he does want to share with us. Mishya says 15 seconds for each craving we get, 15 seconds to change our thought process, 15 seconds changed so many of our lives. That's a deep comment. If I could pin comments in YouTube, I certainly would. 15 seconds. A lot can be accomplished in 15 seconds, both good and bad. I guess the point is to focus on what can go right in that 15 seconds. All right, I'm backtracking because I skipped over a bunch of comments. So I'm going back. Everybody, Mo and Tala were breaking out into song earlier, and I just wanted to do it. You know, it's like going back to Cali. I'm going. Misha said, I would listen and share. And Megan agreed with Kevin's comment. Valiant, last night I found Nate Postlewaite with my ketamine therapy. It was tremendously beneficial, and I'm going to try and get in contact with him. Him and I have very similar upbringing and traumas. Interesting. I'm guessing, Balliet, that Postal Wait, Nate Postal Wait, is some sort of artist, maybe guided meditations or something like that. And I have been listening to a lot of Dirtwire for my treatment sessions. I love Dirtwire. I'm just making a note of this. I'd like to look into it. Nate. And that was Balliet. Right on, Balliet. Thanks for sharing that. I really appreciate you. Rachel says BRB and 10 for real. Are you back yet, Rach? What time was that? 4:33 that comment was dropped. Rach has a lot going on. Like she's got a family and like babies to take care of. So there it's a running joke if y'all don't know that when Rachel says be right back, she doesn't come back. And that's totally fine. I love Rachel. I think she's just a stand-up human being. And if you can hear this, Rach, I love you long time. And if you're still gone, then I'm sending so much love to you and your family. Megan found all of us lovely people through Kimmy. Right on. I'm so glad that we've all met. It just wouldn't be the same without each and every one of you. Jill in the house. Hey, Jill. I didn't even see you sneak in. I don't know if you're still here, but if you are, I'm so glad you made it, friend. Jill, do you have any updates? I'm wondering how you're doing. I feel like I haven't like it's been a little while since I've seen you or heard an update, and I'm so glad that you're here. Okay, Jill did give an update. Doing well, a few setbacks, but still kicking. That's right, Jill. That's the spirit. Maybe that's not the best word to use. What else could I say? And so that's that a girl. Yeah, Tala says, Jill, feel free to talk about it, girl. Yeah, and Scott, I don't know if you're still in here, but it sounded like there was something that you really wanted to share, and maybe you have. Let me finish these comments because there's a good marker here that I'll be able to like come back to my spot. So Tala says, I made some banana cinnamon pancakes this morning and I ate 6 of them. Tala, putting on that weight, making them gains, man. You keep up that hard work. Although it's probably not that hard when there's banana cinnamon pancakes involved. Jill says, well, try drinking so I could sleep. Okay, Jill. Okay. Well, I appreciate you sharing that with us. How did it go? And how are you feeling about it now? Mo stacks on stacks. Nice singing. Racks on racks on racks. Okay, let me flash forward a little bit here. Rachel, you made it back. Nice to see you, Rach, always. And do I see Gonzo? Some Gonzo in the house. Hey, G, welcome in. I'm so glad you're here. It's always nice to see you. Gonzo said, hello, Tara. Hello, everyone. Hope this message goes through. I'm still at work and have crap reception, but I want to still like and say hi. I'm so glad that you rolled through, G. I don't know if you can hear me or not, but if you can, you're the man. Praveen just rolling through. Hey, Praveen, nice to see you. Yeah, it's nice to see you in the live stream too. I always love it when you roll through. How's it going, Praveen? How are your 2024 goals going? I know you had some things lined up for this year, and I'm curious to hear how it's going for you. Scott. Okay, Scott. I just really struggle with giving myself grace. How do you feel when you have cravings? Well, I hear you, man. I I hear you 100% on the giving yourself grace things. Why is it that we're our own toughest critics? You know what I've found to be really helpful with respect to grace for myself? It's having really good friends and family members who remind me that I deserve it. They say things like, I think you're being too hard on yourself. And that snaps me back. And I'm like, okay. And my therapist too will remind me that I need not put very high expectations on myself. It's a challenging thing to do, but it's helpful to me when other people can see that I'm being too hard on myself and call me out on it. I'm calling you out, Scott. I'm calling you out. You deserve to be easy on yourself. Go easy on yourself, man. Again, I don't want to tell you what to do, but I do want to remind you that you deserve to go easy on yourself. How do you feel when you have cravings? Real bad. It's not good. It feels like overwhelm. It feels like lack of control, which is bizarre to me and doesn't make any sense because I haven't actually fallen out of recovery since I've been in it. I have managed to not drink and to abstain from marijuana usage since I got clean and sober back on April 2nd of 2021. That's just how my recovery has looked. Obviously, everyone's recovery is different and is self-defined. That's how mine has looked. So somehow, by the grace of God, I have managed to feel terrified that I was going to make a decision and step out of recovery. That's what it feels like. It feels terrifying. I think if I could use one word to describe how cravings feel for me, it's terrifying because I always wonder if I'm going to follow through with it. And that's what makes it so scary. I think one thing I want to add, in addition to the way that I feel, is that what happens next is of utmost importance. Once I realize that, oh, I'm scared right now, I'm scared of the decision that I might make. It's like, all right, focus on today, pull out all the tools, all of them. That's what I've had to pull out all the stops. Every coping mechanism that I know, when I hit craving mode, I have to pull it out because my recovery is my number one priority in my life. And my brain likes to play tricks on me and tell me that it's not important. That's what's so terrifying about it. So it's like, how do I feel when I have cravings? So scared, beyond scared. And then what happens next is the most important part. That's such a I try to go on to the next comment, Scott. Your comment is so deep to me. I feel like there's more to it. Okay, Scott said something else. So, Scott, the first time I relapsed, I didn't feel safe when I craved. Do you feel confident in your recovery when you crave? No, Scott. I don't. And I'm so glad that you asked this question because I just felt that there was more that needed to be addressed here. And this is serious. Like, I have goosebumps right now just even thinking about your question. Do I feel confident in my recovery when I crave? I don't. And that's what's so scary is that fear. Like, I don't live in fear always. Sometimes I fear nothing and feel invincible at times. I mean, like, humble, but like confident and strong and capable. When the cravings hit, though, it's like all bets are off and I'm terrified. I can't even, I'm like trying to think of a different word to use. I'm working on expanding my vocabulary, y'all. Um, it's this icky, overwhelming feeling that I'm going to make a bad decision inevitably. And that's why I had to tell on myself because I've been dealing with that for about a year in and out. It comes in waves. And thank God for Kevin's channel because I have really been paying attention to what happens in there, the decisions that people make, and then what happens next. Like not just what people are saying, but like literally like paying attention to people's stories. It's so interesting to me. I love hearing people's stories. And for me personally, um, I never even thought to tell my medical healthcare providers that I was having cravings because I was embarrassed of it. So, hearing people in recovery talk about how important it is to talk with somebody, I mean, everybody's different, right? Like, what works for one person doesn't work for everybody. But after hearing so many people benefit from being honest with their medical health care providers instead of trying to hide it and slipping into old behaviors. You know what I'm talking about, lying, hiding things. Instead of that, um, something that Kevin's channel has empowered me with is that I can trust and lean on my nurse practitioner. She's my prescriber, and we've developed a strong relationship. And I mean, I don't take everything she says as gospel. Not everything she's suggested has worked for me, and it's been trial and error. But in terms of my cravings, yeah, and we'll have to see how it goes. But I'm so happy that I told her last week that I was terrified and that it had been going on for about a year because now we're trying something different and we'll see if it works. It feels like it's helping at the very least. But do I feel confident in my recovery when I crave? Absolutely not, which is why I had to do something different. I could have continued to white knuckle and use all my coping mechanisms, but I felt guided to try something different. So I think it's working. We will see, how the next few weeks and months go. Praveen says, I'm working on my first video and trying to make it perfect since I'm editing it. I hear you, Praveen. I have been there before, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you create, man. I really am. I subbed to your channel. I've been waiting for your first video to drop. Praveen says I should have it ready by sometime Saturday. I'll be looking forward. Saturday's my ketamine treatment day, so give me some grace, please, if I, need some time to watch it. Like if I don't watch it Saturday, it's because I'm getting treatment. Scott. Oh, I read that already. Casey in the house. Casey, it's so nice to see you roll through. What does Casey have to say tonight? Hey, I was not going to join, but I needed to hear what I just heard. I'm not alone, but I'm not good. Sorry, missed you guys. Hope you're well. Casey, you're definitely not alone. And I don't know if you have heard what I've been going through the past, like, this week's been better, but last week, if you look at my Monday and Wednesday lives from last week, I was not okay. And it took a lot of hard work and trying some new things that I uh, at one point in time never thought I would try. At one point in time, I was totally opposed to mental health meds and thought I would never, but here we are. Proudly ignorant in the house, and it is, hold on, I want to get this right. Artem. Artem in the house. So nice to see you, Artem. Welcome in. Artem says, I'm terrified of how horrible I would feel about it if I caved in. I remember that feeling from many times that I have. And I believe, I hope it's not an overshare, Artem, but I remember on Monday you were talking about how you've kicked cigarettes successfully for almost a year. And that is wonderful. And I think that you've hit the nail right on the head here. It wouldn't feel good if you started um, incorporating old behaviors back into your routine. So I'm really proud of you that you've stayed strong, and I appreciate you chiming in here and making that comment. Jill, it's okay. It's okay to crave. I do, but bad things happen when I do. Jill, I am so curious to know um, how you handle cravings. What works for you the best to navigate when that happens? And anybody who wants to chime in here, I'm interested. I love coping mechanisms. I love learning new things about recovery. So if you care to share, I would love to see it. Mo, I have cravings, but don't indulge in them. Scott, you do so much service for other people and put in a lot of work. I pray that sentiment finds its way to you when you're craving. Scott, it's a really thoughtful thing to say. Your perspective is much appreciated here. And I think your prayer has already been answered. I have some really great people in my life who, especially in the past couple of weeks, I've really leaned on. And I'm blessed to have the support system that I have. And do I want it to expand? Absolutely. That's a goal that I have in 2024 is to expand my relationships that are mutual and to conserve my energy for the one-way relationships. You know, like I love providing support, but I would like to be more conscious in 2024 of putting my energy in the right places. So thank you for that comment. It means a lot to me. Okay, Jill says, remove myself from the place that's making me crave. That's good. That's good. I dig that. Change of scenery. Jerry, for cravings, I blast music and find a project to keep me busy for a few days. That's awesome, Jerry. You know what? I was just bumping some jams, dancing around my place, and that felt really nice. Just to get moving a little bit and I love music. I love a good beat, a good bass line. So there was a lot of that going on last night, and I dug it. Casey, confession time. I quit one thing, then back to another. Not going to get into detail, but damn, I've tried cleaning hobbies, church. My veins are done. Never had that problem. It's got to be God. Or never had that, probably. It's got to be God. Not problem. Probably, I think, is what she meant. Well, I appreciate you not wanting to, like, I appreciate you keeping it general here, Casey. It sounds like, to me, the way I read this comment, and feel free, no, Casey, you, I can't speak for everybody else, but you certainly didn't make me crave. Um, Having gone through my own recovery process, and I'm still going through it, I don't know if I'll ever stop. Like, it's a lifelong journey, right? Part of what I've experienced is that listening to other people's stories and supporting them in their recovery, like me listening to what you're going through and offering you support, helps me to stay on my recovery path too. So every time you share your experience with me, it inspires me to keep on the path. So please, I it's important to me that people feel comfortable to share and to be authentic and honest here. And I really value the fact that you've done that here. Scott also had a hobby with a great community. That's a really great coping mechanism. Hobbies are, I was about to say underrated, but like not really. But I think with recovering addicts, off or excuse me, with people in recovery, we oftentimes forget that hobbies are not only helpful, but they're critical. I don't know why our brains do that. My cravings, I just have to remind myself over and over that it'll end. And because of where I'm at in recovery, when I crave, it just means I have a need not being met. Scott, that channeled a lot of my addictive tendencies. What would you say your best strengths are in recovery? Kind of ties into the next statement that Jerry made about being honest. I think something that I learned personally in AA, like the beginning of my recovery, I give AA a lot of credit for. Obviously, I've taken a step back from AA, and now I do recovery in a little bit different of a way, and I have different perspective now that I've been through peer support training. Honesty, though, is something that I've always had, but that's really been nurtured in my recovery. Sometimes it's very scary, to be honest. Like when I just went to my nurse practitioner and told her I've been having cravings for the past year and I've made it, but it's terrifying. Um, that type of honesty, to me, is probably my biggest strength in recovery, the ability to be honest with people. If I could identify another strength, I would say for me, perseverance, because I've stayed on the path for coming up on 3 years. It's not at all what I thought it would look like. It's been very different from what I thought it would look like, but it's been my journey and I'm proud of it. And perspective, I think. I think perspective is a strength, and coming from, living in my car and the house and shelters for so long, and then making it to where I'm at now and maintaining my sobriety even though I don't have to, maintaining my recovery and making progress in it, I think is a strength. I really appreciate that question. Casey, I freak out when I have cravings because I know I can get what I want, and that's just sad. Same. I know that I can get what I want delivered to my door. I know that I could go walk to the corner store, or there's a pub right on the corner with a pool table that looks like so much fun. But why don't I do it? Why don't I do those things? Because recovery is my number one priority. And I know that once I start, I have proven in the past that I do not have the ability to consume substance in moderation. It's all or nothing with me. I think certainly not everybody. I'm not speaking for everybody here, but I'm speaking for myself when I say that allowing my cravings to dictate my behavior would be catastrophic in my life. And I'm just basing that on my history. Scott, the 12 step to peer support training. Let me try that again. The 12 step to peer support training, changing my recovery, is hitting home for me hard right now. Right, Scott? Because you're going through training. It was a shocking transformation that I personally went through because for me, it was 12 step to being like, something's not right in here for me because I went from not taking mental health meds for the first 18 months of my recovery to taking them, and it was not something that was well accepted. And I felt like I was returning to old behaviors and I was hiding things and not being authentic. And that's something that I really valued from the first part of my recovery. So I was just like, I need a break from this. And then I found the YouTube recovery community and um, started my peer support specialist training in between when I started making my own videos and like starting this channel essentially. I did peer support training in between that and taking a step back from AA, but I still had the AA doctrination or like the AA mindset burned into my brain. But it was refreshing. I will say it was incredibly refreshing to learn the peer support perspective because it was in line with the things that I took issue with in AA. I could list examples, which is kind of in line with what I thought I was going to talk about supporting others in this live stream tonight. Um, I'll just say, and perhaps we can talk. I've talked about supporting others in other streams, and so suffice it to say that peer support, I just love the way that peer support defines recovery. Peer support defines recovery as a self-defined process. It's nobody else's business to define their own recovery. It is your right to define your own recovery. It is my right to define my own recovery. What works for everybody or what works for one person doesn't necessarily work for everybody. And I love about peer support that we are not biased to any culture, even our own. We're not biased to anyone's religion, even our own. And it's an inclusive environment. I love that this is an inclusive environment and anybody's welcome. It's refreshing to me. Nobody said recovery would be easy. Jill, I need to learn the 12 steps. Jill, I recommend it. The 12 steps have helped me tremendously. I have worked them twice, and I'm learning more about different recovery modalities. And what I learned recently is that Celebrate Recovery also works the steps like pretty much the same way as AA, if I understand correctly. And if I'm not understanding correctly, please feel free to correct me. The big difference that I see with the way Celebrate Recovery does the 12 steps is that they have a 9-month program. I was nudged along to finish my steps pretty much as soon as possible. We took our time in that we would focus with my temporary sponsor, my first sponsor. We I worked all the steps with her and we focused on one step per week, except for step 4, the inventory. I took 6 weeks to do that. And she told me I was going slow. Well, I guess in Celebrate Recovery, it's a 9-month process, and 6 weeks is about par for the course in terms of the time that people spend doing the inventory. I'm glad that I worked the steps and that I know them. I think it has been helpful. So, Jill, I think that's a wonderful idea. Marky, and always watch the company you keep. Indeed. So Kimmy had said, yes, Morrison, it's not supposed to be. The best things in life are hard. And then Mo said, yep, replace your bad habits with good. And then Marky makes a fantastic point. Always watch the company you keep. And Jill says, for sure, Marky. Super important. Jerry, find something healthy to be addicted to, small steps at a time. That's an interesting conversation, Jerry. I think yeah, it's like it goes back to the whole. It's almost like a philosophical question. What is there such thing as a healthy addiction? You know, like working out, for example. It's like, well, if it's an addiction, the definition of an addiction is that it's interfering with your life. So, is there such thing as a healthy addiction? That's a kind of an oxymoron, but it's an interesting philosophical conversation. I agree with you that it would be helpful to replace unhealthy behaviors with healthy ones. I love that conversation, though, Jerry. I appreciate you bringing that up. Kimmy says, for me, dealing with the BPD stuff has been so much more challenging than getting to and staying in recovery. I almost feel like getting off opioids and subs was a lifetime ago. I'm with you, Kimmy. The mental health part of my recovery has been intensely more, that's not even a good word. It's been, I don't even have a word to describe. I'm trying to say like way more. You know, I'm trying to find a word to say my mental health recovery has been way more demanding than my substance use recovery. hands down, no questions asked. And it continues to be. I feel like I've made a lot of progress in the past maybe 8 months in terms of my mental health recovery. I'm nowhere near where I want to be. I mean, my ultimate goal is to be off mental health medication and not needing it, like having a fulfilling life without it. But right now, it's just not the path that I have chosen for myself, and I'm okay with that. Yeah, Mo, that's an interesting comment. Get clean. That's when the real work begins. I have a recovery language video. I'd like to put out more of these. It has ruffled some feathers. I have gotten some feedback about my recovery language video that people did not like my usage of the word clean. Uh, and I apologize if I ruffled your feathers. Um, Everybody has a different definition of what recovery means to them. And, some people, like, I mean, we could talk about this till the cows come home. It's like, what is clean, right? Is being on subs clean? Do you have to be off subs to be clean? Is being on ketamine clean? Some people in AA would say that I'm not clean because I undergo ketamine treatment. Um, I consider myself clean because I received ketamine treatment in a clinical setting by prescription. So I'm very much in recovery, but to each their own. I could understand why someone would say that I'm not, or why people who undergo MAT are not. I disagree. I think MAT is clean and ketamine is clean if it's by prescription. Those things can be abused, like ketamine can be abused, subs can be abused, methadone can be abused. Um, but just because somebody is taking mental health medications, and I now group methadone and Suboxone and all of the similar medications like MAT in general, I, in my mind, group that into the mental health med arena. Some people um, need the extra support, and there's nothing wrong with that. Heather in the house. Heather just came in. Heather, it's so nice to see you. I'm so glad you're here, friend. Mo, I like your comment. I like the last part of your comment. I think getting into recovery is where the real work begins. I think getting into recovery is, like I said, it's something that's self-defined. Casey, you're supporting others. Thanks, Casey. I appreciate that. It's a pleasure. It truly is a pleasure. Scott, supporting alongside someone until they find their own path in recovery was not a statement I could imagine in 13 step. I don't know if you're making a joke there, Scott, about 13 step. I think you meant 12 step and it was a typo. It's a really funny typo if it is a typo. Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree. It was hard, especially having sponsored people in 12 step. It was like, who am I? Yeah, like, and who is anybody to say they know what the best way is? It's so refreshing to me to have autonomy again and to know what I've known all along, that like my guidance ultimately like trumps what anybody else thinks. Period. Heather's hanging in there. Scott, you're only clean if it's by my standards. I think that's probably a joke. Words, we give words a lot of power. Casey, maybe I have my issues and won't admit it. I have PTSD, but I'll never admit depression or other things I might have. I don't even know what to say to that, Casey. Um, I'm happy that you're sharing this with us. I'm just glad you're here. That's like the only thing that I have to say is I can remember being in a place of not knowing and wanting things to change so much, but not even knowing where to start. And today I'm happy to report that it's so much easier having gone through what I've been through in the past year working with my medical and mental health care team has made a huge difference. I'm not perfect. Like, I'm not saying I'm fixed by any means. I still have a lot of work to do. But my life, I couldn't say this last week. I couldn't say that my life was better in recovery than it was when I was using. I couldn't, I couldn't, I didn't feel that way. I felt like it was better. And that is when the cravings hit, or that's what happens when the cravings hit me. I start thinking about how my life was and comparing it to the way my life is. Today, thank God, is a good day. And I feel like, okay, my life is actually better today than it was. I've got stuff in order, things are under control, they're manageable. I can deal with my emotions, I can show up to things, and I'm volunteering and supporting other people as much as I can, and that all feels really good. I could not do those things when I was living in my car and in my addiction. So it's not funny, it's tragic that I would forget that, when cravings have reared their ugly head. But I'm happy to report that today my life is actually better than it was when I was in my addiction. And I haven't been able to say that like ever. This is a new development for me, and it feels so refreshing. And I'm so thankful that I've made it to this point. Kimmy, my drugs of choice were via prescription for the most part. I was most definitely not clean, but I hear what you're saying. I think I remember you saying, Kimmy, that you would like take more than you were prescribed and you'd run out and have like things like that. And I think this is just my perspective, right? Like I hear you saying that you weren't clean. My perspective echoes what you're saying. That like I view recovery as being able to take mental health medication as prescribed. That's a really important part of the way I review, or the way that I look at MAT and mental health medication, is that like taking it as prescribed is of the utmost importance. And to me, taking medication as prescribed is a totally valid part of recovery for some people. Not everybody needs it, and that's wonderful. But I think so many people they dip out of recovery because they don't have that extra support, and then they start self-medicating again, and the cycle just continues over and over. Scott, 12 step. I swear I type on my phone like I have fists for hands. Scott, yeah, 12 step. I was assuming uh, correctly, like rightfully, that you meant 12 step. That was a really funny typo. That you win typo of the night. Give yourself some grace, Scott. Casey, whoops, I just lost Casey's comment. There it is. I truly think if I microdose shrooms, that would help, but they don't do that or ketamine around here. But they have, but that may not work for me as I used to go to ketamine raves. Sorry, bad speller. Casey, you're totally fine on the spelling. I didn't see any spelling errors actually in your message. And I also have I'm considering microdosing mushrooms. My nurse practitioner and I have decided that we're focusing on ketamine right now. We're keeping the therapies separate, but I might very well start not even microdosing mushrooms, but like actually taking legitimate sizes of mushrooms. I can't get a prescription from my nurse practitioner, but she can recommend the dose to me and has said that it might be helpful to me. Again, that's not something that we're doing right now, but for depression, it has proven to be effective for some. And that's too bad that they don't have ketamine around because it's doing wonders for me. Um, I don't know if anybody would be interested in this, but I am aware of, I think it's called Bloom or something like that. It's at home ketamine. You have a consultation with a medical healthcare professional, and they assess you to see if you're a good candidate for ketamine treatment, and then send you, I believe it's the troches, which is what I'm going to be using. My nurse practitioner is going out of town for the next 3 weeks, so I'm not going to be getting the in clinic treatment, but we are doing at home sub. Why am I blanking on the word? Under the tongue. Sublingual? Is that correct? Not sublingual. Is that correct? I don't know. My brain is like not wanting to function appropriately right now, but the oral form of ketamine is what I'm going to be taking while she's gone. So that, I mean, if you know they don't have ketamine in the area where you live, finding a resource who can help determine if it would be a good fit for you and then prescribe it and send it to your house via the mail could be a potential solution. I hope I'm not overstepping boundaries but I mean, I'm doing the at-home ketamine treatment. So really that's where I'm that's where I need to focus, is that like that's what I'm doing and I'm looking forward to it. Scott, so many meetings where I went to treatment were littered with co-ed meetings with 13th steppers. Absolutely. Or they could make things worse, Casey. Says Kimmy. Yeah, Casey, I'm not a medical health professional. This is not medical advice, but I would absolutely recommend talking with a medical healthcare professional if ketamine or psilocybin is something that you're thinking about. I personally, in my recovery, um, feel comfortable leaning on the expertise of my psychiatric nurse practitioner. She knows a lot more about meds and mental health than I do. And So if I ever do decide to dose with psilocybin as a way to treat my depression, it will be under her supervision. And I will do it as she directs me to. Maddie in the house. Hey, Maddie, I didn't even see you pop in here. It's nice to have your company, man. Matt says, okay, guys, don't worry, I'm back. Maddie, I skipped over a section of comments. I was hoping to get back to it, but I must have skipped over when you came in. My apology. I will do my best to try to get back to it, but it's like, I don't know if I'll be able to get back to it or not at this point. If I did skip over your comment and it's super important, please feel free to type it again in the chat. I try to get to all of them, but I don't always do a good job. And Scott has inspired me to give myself some grace on that. Marky, Tara, how do you think I feel about the pharmacia? Marky, I know that you're not in support of the pharmacia, but one thing that I do want to point out about, and again, I don't judge anybody. Like, this is a judgment-free zone. You're welcome here regardless of your culture or beliefs, 100%. And so, Marky, I support the fact that you're not all about pharmacia. I do, though, think it's significant that you were on subs for a period of time and then chose to come off of them and had your like spirit journey to come off of them. That's something that I try to remember for myself, because I tried using nothing for 18 months in my recovery and wanted to kill myself. That's no joke. And I was going to do it with drugs. Um, thank God I went a different route and tried something different. And it's taken a while to, discover ketamine treatment and figure out how I was going to pay for it and like all of these details. But at the end of the day, for me, it has benefited me greatly to lean on the support of the pharmacia. Do I want to continue to do this forever? Nope. I would like to come off of my mental health meds eventually, but while I'm still having cravings and while I'm still self-admittedly at risk for falling out of recovery and wanting to maintain my total abstinence, this is where I'm at in my journey. And I appreciate people who don't need mental health meds. I'm not one of those people. But I think there's different seasons in recovery, and I happen to be in the season where I need some support so that I can get through without falling out of recovery. That's just my personal perspective on it. But all perspectives are welcome here. I want to make that really clear. Yeah, Casey, definitely. I don't make recommendations often, but with this, I absolutely want to encourage you to talk with a mental health care provider about ketamine and psilocybin. Most of the time, adding drugs on top of drugs never works, in my humble opinion. How are you defining drugs? Scott, my worst day clean is still better than my best day using. I love that quote. I think that's a fantastic quote. My worst day clean is still better than my best day using. I love the idea of that quote. I don't know if I can necessarily agree at this point in time. Perhaps once I get a few more years of recovery under my belt, I'll be able to say that. But I had a couple really rough weeks recently. So, but I love the quote. I think it's a fantastic quote. Casey, I'm glad I came across you, Kick and Addiction, Kimmy, etc. We are so glad that you came across us too. Casey, I love seeing you in the chat, and I hope a lot more of you around here. Yeah, Kimmy said it. We're glad too, Casey. I hope you're able to find something that works. I echo that. Y'all probably don't know Pollyanna, Casey says. Jerry, love the live stream trio. Aw, thanks, Jerry. Marky, I don't know much. This much I do know. There are no answers at the bottom of a pill bottle, prescribed or not. That may or may not be true, Marky. For me, I'm able to face therapy and not kill myself because my brain chemistry is being balanced out. So I'll take the pill bottle for now. Kimmy, yes, Tara, I overtook them, but not at first. At first, I took them as prescribed until I became addicted, as can happen with many prescription medications, for sure. Absolutely. Anything can be abused. You know, some people can drink responsibly, some people can smoke marijuana responsibly, but there becomes a line when it's an addiction. And I think that's self defined also. Mo, if I would have taken the subs as prescribed, they would have been my savior. I think that's a really profound comment. And that's exactly my perspective too, Mo. I agree with you on this, is that things can be used responsibly and then they can also be abused, the same substance. It's a really important part of the recovery process, in my perspective, is being able to differentiate between responsible and um, not responsible. That's not the right word. Healthy versus unhealthy. Casey, I just pray for a lot of certain things. Like I have nothing good here, but my daughter, and hard to explain, but need God's timing for my will. I'll just say our daughter's sake. I think it's wonderful, Casey, that you are prioritizing your daughter in all of this. And you always have. All the comments that I've seen where you talk about your daughter, it's clear how much you care for her. And that's a beautiful thing. Also, I like how you highlighted God's timing. Um, that helps me a lot too, to focus on, like, call it God, call it your higher power. Like, you know, this isn't a religious channel, and all different beliefs are welcome here. I personally think that for me, um, focusing on God's will has been a huge part of my recovery. Sublingual, that's right. Okay, I was saying it right. Megan, Megan, I was like, really stretching for that. I don't know why my brain just went totally blank back there. Maddie. Maddie, do you and Marky know each other? Yeah, Marky says that's my word, Matt. Maddie and Marky, maybe you should link up in Discord or something. Scott, sublingual is under the tongue, subbuccal is in the cheek, I believe. Yeah, that sounds correct. Megan, that's interesting. Do you like the trip and experience at the clinic? Would you graduate to at home treatments going forward? So, Megan, I love the trip and the experience at the clinic just as much as I love the therapeutic effects throughout the week. So, for a while, I was taking, I was getting two, or at one during one session, I got three injections in the same session. But typically, most of my sessions have been dual injections, just meaning like two of them. But the past two in clinic sessions, I asked, I did, I thought of Marky and I was like, all right, I'm going to be brave this week. I'm going to ask for the hero dose, is how Marky describes the ketamine dose that I've received the past two treatments. The hero dose is a combination of both of those injections that I was initially getting. So I used to get 100 milligrams, and then 30 minutes later, she would inject me with 50 milligrams. Well, the past 2 weeks, I've gotten 150 milligrams all in one injection. And I like it much better. And not just for the intensified trip, which it's not that much more intensified. It's just like slightly more intense. I mean, it's in clinic ketamine. So compared to the other psychedelics that I've done before recovery, it's a mild trip. But I do enjoy it. And I like the 150 at one time because that gives me 20 or 30 extra minutes to come back into my body. So when I get up and I'm walking around afterwards, I feel more stable. I can talk more clearly. I can walk and not feel wobbly. I just feel like pretty normal after my treatments when I get the single dose. And the trip is shorter. You know, when you get the two injections, it's drawn out, but the trip is shorter, a little more intense, and I feel better afterwards. Like, usually when I get the two injections, I come home and I lay down for a period of time, and then I'll make dinner later, or like food, you know, a few hours after I get home. I have come home the past 2 weeks and eaten food right away and felt kind of social, like I could talk with people. So I'll be interested to see. And Megan, the second part of your question was about graduating to at home treatments. So my nurse practitioner is going out of town starting Friday, and my treatments are normally on Saturday. And so she prescribed at home ketamine treatment for me for the next 3 weeks. I have not done it yet. I've only gotten the intramuscular injections so far. So it'll be a first doing the at home ketamine this weekend. So I will be able to report back uh, on Monday, or like perhaps I'll see y'all around Discord before then. Maybe we'll chat on Saturday night after I dose. Like, who knows what will happen. But if nothing else, I will definitely be giving an update on, like, during the Monday stream. I might make a video or two about dosage. So I hope that answers your question, Megan. Casey, I'm laughing as I write this down. No offense, but thought I was the only one who liked paper. Thank you. Who liked paper? I don't take offense to that at all. Marky stealing my ish. Yeah, that was so funny that Maddie said that. Maddie, the Mac Daddy of recovery, says Mo. Bloom, yes. Yeah. Oh, where did your comment go? I lost it. Bloom, you think at this point I have nothing to lose? That's the way I see it, Casey. I really encourage you to be honest with the person doing the evaluation because ketamine is not a good fit for everybody, but it has been a great fit for me. Maddie, cunning, how do you say that word? Cunnilingual? Cunnilingual is oral on a submarine. The Mile Below Club. Oh, I wonder what Marky thought about that statement. The Mile Below Club. Casey Bloom, you think? I think it's worth looking into, Casey. For me, it would be. Scott, do you think you'll feel less supported when your nurse leaves? If so, do you have a way? Um, do you have a way probably to get additional support if needed? So my therapist is fantastic, and if I needed some additional support, she actually, I'm glad you said that. I'm going to jot that down to connect with my therapist, let her know that I'll be doing the at-home ketamine this weekend for the first time. She's fantastic about making herself, not making herself available, but just like if I call her on Saturday, she'll call me back on Saturday if she's able to. She's never not been able to. I'm not actually concerned about not being in the clinic with my nurse practitioner because like the first few sessions were different. She checked on me a lot and came in and out of the room and would talk to me a little bit. The last several sessions, because I've had 9 in clinic sessions now, and the last 4 or 5 sessions, she has injected me and then left me to my own devices and come in to check on me about an hour into it. Or maybe she's popped her head in during my trip, but I wouldn't know because I like to close my eyes during my trip. I haven't been aware of her checking on me during that time. But we're starting at a lower dose than what the full script is written for. So my first at-home session, I'm going to be taking 300 milligrams of the sublingual form. And then the following week, if I do well on the 300, I'll take 400. So if I need additional support, I will reach out to my therapist, but I don't anticipate that being a problem. We'll see though. Matt, seriously. Katie, I'm just so bad at typing, or Casey, not Katie. I'm so bad at typing on a laptop now. I think you're doing great, Casey. Maddie, I can't believe Tara didn't notice me coming or out at her. Of course I notice you when I see you, Maddie. I had to scroll past some comments though because I wanted to see who was currently in. I didn't want to get too far behind. Where we at? I might go back and review some things if there's time. Jerry, love you guys. Got to go to bed. See y'all in the next one. Jerry, thanks for stopping in. I don't know if you're still here, man, but if you are, it's always a pleasure to have you here. And I hope to see you soon. Scott, I feel like I grow the most when I persevere through hardship, right? Perseverance is one of my favorite strengths, not just for me, but to like see in other people. Maybe we can call you cravings, call your cravings probably. Maybe we can call your cravings growing pains. I hear that. I like that perspective. Casey, I was listening to Papa Roach last Last Resort on repeat today with Christian hip hop. Like, what? But I have not listened to Papa Roach since a kid. Scary. Casey, getting down with some jams. That's what's up. I'm happy that you're finding some comfort in music. I listened to music last night for about 3 hours. I was feeling uh like really vibing with what I was listening to. It was quite enjoyable. Megan, the hero dose. Yeah, that I cannot take credit for that term. Marky came up with that phrase, hero dose, and I like it. I did feel like a hero. And then my nurse practitioner started using it. She's like, "Yep, hero dose." I love her. She's amazing. Scott, I'm glad it's helping. Saluting your confidence and sharing your journey. Scott, thank you so much. I salute your confidence in sharing everything that you shared this evening. It is so nice to see you here. And I also hope to be seeing you and everybody that's here. The energy tonight, the vibe, it's been a really supportive environment and inclusive of everybody, which I so appreciate. Thank you so much. Maddie says, now it's time to fall asleep to Tara's voice. Okay, Maddie, I will start to bring the tone down a little bit as well, there's still some, I'm going to go back up and see those comments and see if there's anything really pertinent to get to. Slomo says, good to see you, Casey. It is always good to see you, Casey. Am I the only one that lost her? Whoa. I have all night, Casey. I just keep leaving and coming back. Megan, Casey, the audio has been a bit off, but I still have her here. Is it frozen for you? Uh-oh. Whoa. I've got a hardwire connection, but my signal is weak. I'm working with what I've got, doing the best I can for now. Hopefully, within the next few months, I have a stronger signal to be able to deliver a higher quality of content to you. But I do appreciate y'all bearing with me while I utilize the tools that I have at my uh, what's the word I'm looking for? The words are hard for me tonight. At my the tools that I have available. There we go. Mo, I took a hero dose of tea today. Casey, yes, it's been that way for me too, but not for this long. Uh-oh. Mombi in the house. Hey, Mombi, it is nice to see you here. Thanks for stopping in. I was just gonna say, I was like, I might start landing the plane here soon, but then again, there's a bunch of comments that I had to skip over to get to the live ones, and I think I might actually take some time to go back through to those comments. Mombi, it's always nice to see you roll through. Any updates for you, Mombi? Anything you feel like sharing with us? Anything you feel like celebrating with us? Feel free to share. And if not, I'm just glad you're here. Scott, I appreciate all of you. Um, all of the chats, the kindness is only exceeded by their good looks. Good night. Scott, thank you so much for rolling through. It has been a real pleasure getting to know you better tonight, connecting with you. And I really hope to be seeing you around. Scott, I took a wee dose of tea today. What are y'all talking about tea? Are you talking about THC? Like what's the tea? I missed something. Alex just rolled through. Hey, Alex, nice to see you in here. I feel oh, T, testosterone, not THC. Okay, testosterone. Got it. Copy that. That is not something that I took today. I took a hero dose of omega-3 today, says Kimmy. Casey wants to know if it gives Kimmy energy. Mo, sup, Alex. Alex, always nice to see you, friend. Any updates with you, Alex? What you been up to, man? Kimmy, no Casey, but studies show it can be helpful for emotional regulation, not to mention cardiac health. I did not know that about omega-3, about the emotional regulation. Thank God I eat fish and take fish oil on days I don't eat fish. Yeah, Mo is now prescribed the tea, right on. Might be good for Casey. Maddie, I am Mr. T and I pity the fool. Maddie, I love your playfulness. Playfulness is not a strength we studied in peer support specialist training, but I think it's a strength, and I want to call that out and recognize your playfulness right now. Alex, working, working, working. Company is reopening all of our greenhouses, so there's a lot of slack being picked up. Work, work, work. How have you been, Tara? Alex, I have had some rough weeks. The past few weeks have been really challenging for me. Honestly, like if you go back and watch my live stream from last Monday and Wednesday, you'll see I was not okay. But if you watch Monday and this stream, you'll see that I'm okay. And I explain, the reason why I have really put some energy into my mental well-being in the past week. So, well, and before that, I mean, I've been focusing on it for the whole year, but I made some significant progress lately, and I'm happy to report that I am doing well. Thank you for asking. Oh, Maddie, I took a hero dose of Ben and Jerry's ice cream last night. What kind of what kind of Ben and Jerry's? My favorite kind. It's been a while since I've had Ben and Jerry's, but my favorite kind is always half baked. Yum 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 yum. Mo, that wavy gravy, yo. Everybody's taking hero doses of something. I took a hero dose of the D artificial today. 4D batteries. Oh my goodness. Are you saying what I think you're saying, Kimmy? Megan Terry, you sounded so Canadian when you said, you know. Uh, if I had $1 for every time someone told me I sounded Canadian, I'm trying to think of how many dollars I had. I could probably buy a whole new wardrobe, which would be amazing. Alex wants to know what the heck, Kimmy? Kimmy is coping this evening, and she was talking about what thought she was talking about. Way to spice things up, Kimmy. Never a dull moment. Casey, I'm gonna go. Thanks for listening, guys. Hope y'all have a good night. Casey, I'm so glad you made it in tonight. Thanks for being so open with us and sharing everything you shared. I appreciate you, and I hope you have a great night. Cope and seethe. All right, I'm gonna scroll up to the earlier comments here and just see what I missed. See what I see. I'll go back live. Don't you Don't you worry. Where Oh, it didn't. Okay, I read that. Bear with me. I am trying to find where I was. Yep, that's when Marky passed his test, which we are so excited for Marky about. Ooh, Marky earlier said, if I got to pick a coast, I got to pick the East. I live out there, so don't go there. Marky, you know I respectfully disagree with you, man. West Coast is the best coast. We can agree to disagree on that. Hmm. This is an interesting comment. I don't think Misha is in here anymore, but she said, and what can go wrong, honestly? I have to remind myself what I have lost. That feeling is so much more important than any high, especially drug induced, could ever bring. That reminds me of something my therapist helped me with. Like, we've been talking about affirmations quite a bit lately. And something that she said, like an affirmation that she pointed out to me, or like had, I jotted it down because she said it, was like, I have too much to lose. And that is such the truth. Like, I have, at this point, I have too much to lose. I've gained too much back to be backsliding and to try and like mess around. Um, my life is so much better, like legit, actually better today than it was when I was in that addiction. So, like, I have too much to lose to go back. And I know it's like, all right, I don't want to focus on what I have to lose, right? But like, I just have so much. And I have so much more progress to make and so much to gain by staying in recovery. Scott earlier, I know Scott's not here, but he said, I wish I had the confidence in the work I did to do so. That will come with time, Scott. Well, for me, I'm noticing that, like, practice makes better. I like saying that. Oh, the lifeboat. So that's where Mishia went. The lifeboat went. She has to go mod. I've been wanting to check that channel out. Mo earlier said, anytime I have cravings, I remind myself of all the time I lost, all the bad things that came from it, and I try to shift my mindset to the truth in scripture. Earlier, G said, hey everyone, hope this message goes through. Oh, I read that. Okay, so I've seen all of this. I didn't see this though. Marky said, I command you to grow. You must grow. CT Fletcher. Okay. So maybe I didn't skip as much as I thought I did. Let's see what has happened down here. Oh, goodness. Some things happen. Megan to the rescue. Slow mo to the rescue. What happened here? Man, it happened. Why did that have to happen when I went up in the comments? Mo, pew pew and people out. Oh, there's a couple trolls in here this evening. Okay. I'm looking at the deleted comments. I didn't realize I could do that. All right, interesting. Okay. Thanks, Mo and Megan, for being on Troll Patrol. Wrench Trench. Megan singing? What is happening in the comments? I leave for 2 seconds. Alex said, I swear it's not me. That wrench trench. It is interesting. Dude, Alex, I have never gotten a single troll in here before. This is the first time I've ever had a troll. And I really appreciate my mods for, first of all, for being here and for doing everything that you do in here. And second of all, for hopping on the troll patrol there. Rachel misses Marky long time. Well, it has been an eventful stream. I think it's probably time to land the plane here. So I want to give y'all an opportunity to share anything that you have that you would want to get off your chest, something that's been brewing all day, something that's going on. Obviously, like most of y'all know, this is a peer support channel. It's designed to provide support to people in recovery from substance use and mental health conditions. And it is not associated with any particular culture or belief, and everyone is welcome here, regardless of what your beliefs are, regardless of who you support politically, although we typically don't talk about politics here. I'm glad that you're all here. So, tonight we talked quite a bit about a lot of things, as a matter of fact. Something that I noted down that was a little different than what we normally talk about here is guided meditations. I feel super inspired based on the conversation earlier in the chat to create some more um, pieces of art, not necessarily guided meditations. I don't know what I'm going to call them. That will probably come to me with the artistic process, to create some sort of art like what I've created in the past. If you're interested in seeing what I created a few years ago, you can go to SoundCloud at tarasmiling. It's the same username that I have here, just Tara Smiling. It's the sound of rain coming down on the car that I was living in and the waves of Big Sur while I did a cover of the Louise Hay guided meditation, one of her guided meditations, or not meditation, excuse me, it was guided affirmation session. So I created that. Maybe I feel inspired to try something similar, but I don't know how I'm going to match the quality of that. Like, it wasn't planned that way to have the rain and the waves and all that, but I love the way that turned out. I just would like to create something now in my recovery because my voice has changed. I've processed a lot of things. I've grown in my recovery. And so I'd like to create some new art now. Ganen, am I saying that right? Ganen? Tell me, Ganen, am I saying this right? I'm glad you stopped in. I was going to call you G, but I call Gonzo G. I can't call you both G. Says, I think you're a strong, beautiful person. That's very thoughtful of you. That's a really nice comment. Thank you so much. Mo says, God bless. Kimmy and I will be joint streaming tomorrow. Very interesting. Right on. That's good to know. Heather, falling asleep to guided meditations is soothing. If one of the mods wants to drop, it's like you could drop a link to both of your channels if you want. Typically, Kimmy streams on Thursdays, and and I'm seeing that tomorrow her and Slow Mo are planning on joint streaming, which I think means that you can watch on Kimmy's channel or you can watch on Mo's channel. Feel free to drop links. I don't know if you're going to be streaming from your Slow Mo channel, Mo, or Uppers Recovery, but feel free to drop links if you like. Heather says falling asleep to guided meditations is soothing. Yes, it can be with the right one as long as there's no ads. Yeah, and SoundCloud, I don't think SoundCloud has ads. Okay, so Kimmy just dropped a link to Uppers Recovery. Mo just dropped a link to Kimmy's Playhouse. So you can go, and Rachel just dropped a link to Kimmy's Playhouse as well. It sounds like you could go to either one of these links and catch the stream tomorrow. Yeah, and Rachel asked the question. I was wondering if I was skimming the comments to see if somebody said what time. They're not sure what time, but just keep an eye out for that. Gone in earlier said, go listen to this meditation. You probably posted a link, Ganen, but uh, we can't see it. Feel free to give a description. Like, what's the name of the meditation that you're referencing, and where did you find it? Because links, if you're not a mod, you can't post links. I appreciate that you all made it in here tonight. It's so nice to see you all here. Oh, Ganon, you made it. How do we find it, Ganon? War by G. That's funny. Is that the Ganon? Is that the name of the meditation? War by G. Is it on YouTube or like how do we on SoundCloud? Cool. Okay, I'm gonna make a note of that. And if you're all interested in the guided affirmation that I made a few years back, you can go to SoundCloud and search for tarasmiling. It's only one file that's there right now. War by G. Interesting, Ganon. Yeah, Megan says visit both channels tomorrow to hit the like button twice. Yeah, and if you looks like we got some good like buttons smashed here tonight. Do me a favor while we're just winding down and landing this plane this evening and hit that like button. It's free and it helps me provide support to more people. I love doing it. I love being here with you. It is truly an honor. It's a pleasure. And I want to express some gratitude to everybody who made it here tonight. Thank you. Megan Moltera, thank you. This stream was too exciting to sleep after all. Good night and much love to the chat. Good night, Megan. I'm so glad that you rolled through tonight. It's a pleasure to have your company, as always. Rach with the late drop. Artem says that was nice, Tara. Thanks. Of course, of course. So thank you all so much for tuning in. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up right here. It's been super fun. It's been a pleasure, as always. I love you all so very much. Again, So much gratitude for everybody that rolled through tonight. The conversation was fantastic. The environment was supportive, and I really appreciate that. Thank you. And until next time, wait, what do I like to say actually? I don't say until next time. I say I love you all so much and I hope to see you soon.